Welcome back for another episode of the Wood Couture Podcast, recording live here at the Atlantis Resort, the Palm, in Dubai, in the company of certainly the one and only, the master of artwork, Neel Shukla. Welcome back.
Nice to see you again. Thank you for doing this amazing podcast. It's an incredible venue.
Always a pleasure, my friend. It is. I'm smiling because it's always an adventure with you. And as you all remember, the last episode, we were in his own place, in the studio, in his kitchen, as we call it, where he cooks all these masterpieces.
The art of cucina.
La cucina,
La
exactly.
cucina.
Where he cooks all these masterpieces. And now here we are live in Hakkasan restaurants, Michelin star restaurants. Let's not forget that.
That's right.
You know, and we want to know all about what he created, which lies above us. You will see later the masterpiece, but let's refresh the memory of our viewers of this masterpiece, what it's all about.
So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, designers, all my friends and my colleagues in the LinkedIn world, I did not know how I was going to do this. A couple of months prior to the project coming to life, Roy Rossi from DWP approached me. They said they are working on a conceptual idea for the Hakkasan Lounge. And they had this floating art installation with the blue elements of ocean. So at that point in time, I had no idea even how to think about phantoming this design, making this into reality. So we just dug into the process of crafting, creating, sampling, tooling, everything to make this piece without getting an award of the project. We were so forthcoming in the project. We made the sample, which I think surpassed expectations of mine to begin with, because I want to make something in my studio, which I know I can deliver in a beautiful manner, and it functions and it works. And the decision makers and Roy loved it, and then it became a reality. So at that point, we were like confused, like, oh my God, we are doing this now. And we just jumped into it. We're just in the middle of a tsunami of designing, crafting at the same time. And here we are months after that. So there were 3 levels to it. First, crafting, then producing, and the most complex part is the installation. There was so much that went into this installation of this piece. Me and my team, we had to be inside looking at different levels, because we did not want the ceiling to be shown. So please come to Hakkasan and see the art installation. Of course, enjoy the food here, but there's so much work has gone into this from the client side, the designer side, my side, to make this a reality. So I did not know that I would be able to do this, and here we are watching it and admiring it.
To be a Michelin star restaurant takes a lot of effort and details. And details is part of your job, because when we were filming, you were inspecting every single piece of this artwork, which is massive, because we saw you making one of them, and then and so people don't know unless they see you working. The level of detailing and the time and effort you and your team put into that. And what was the complex part in manufacturing this?
Outside the sophistication of the installation of this piece. If you see the cables on top, these are aviation cables, are super fine. And the termination point on each piece is embedded in the piece. So you don't see any point that doesn't belong. It's an inclusive piece of installation. So it looks perfect. And we had 3 separate orders for this. We did first order, and it seemed there was lacking of the populated pieces. So we had second and third order, and the total had 480 pieces installed.
Wow.
Every single piece was worked by myself with my team, colored, crafted, and I was involved with the entire process from beginning to end. Of course, I have multiple projects taking place in Qatar, Saudi, even Africa. I cannot physically do every single piece, but the discovery, the art and the processes of creating, crafting this thing, I'm involved every single step of the way. Weekends, long hours are something very normal in my life. And the end result just speaks for itself. And I'm so happy, so proud that we are here talking about this. And of course, this hopefully is listed for the CID Awards, which is coming up in September. So let's see how that goes.
Ambience decor is part of the criteria
Yeah.
for a Michelin star restaurant. Food is the biggest part, obviously, and service, but the ambience play a part of it. So it means your creation are award-winning creations.
Well, I think it's been a small part, maybe even 2%
Small
part.
or big is part of it, it's definitely. But you mentioned you have other projects. What other projects do you have on? Or do you have one specific project that you are very excited that coming up soon?
Some of you know me, I've been crafting, making artwork for the last 25 years in Dubai. I had a very small studio, not even a studio, just my wife and I. We were cutting and joining frames. I used to paint and photograph, and I used to put artwork on walls. And so from that period of my life, I always dreamt of having an art studio and be able to make, these kind of beautiful things. So now, because of our dedication, patience, and support from our staff, which is the most important thing, we are now been awarded a beautiful, beautiful project right upstairs, the new Nobu.
Wow.
It's a dragon, and it's a dragon like none other. So I can't tell you too much about it, but that's I can reveal. So we just started work on that particular project, and I think by end of this year, we will be filming this same thing upstairs.
Absolutely.
And it's, I think, an absolute masterpiece, and in the most, I'm getting goosebumps. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is a stunning piece of art installation, which is going to be coming upstairs, overlooking both oceans, this side and that side. I don't know what it's called. One's the palm, one's outside. So dragon that goes on both sides of the restaurant. It's the biggest restaurant, I think, biggest Nobu in the world at the moment.
You know what is interesting? When I was talking to you before we sat down and started the conversation, that you describe the function of what you do. And in the project in Qatar, we're talking about Qatar, but same approach, I guess, is here. You call it curating.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. It's no, and I always feel that clients, don't understand the real value the artwork brings to places and to people, but I like the way you describe it, curating. It's not even saying, oh, I'm going to arrange it or put in place. Curating. It's such an amazing word that don't exist in our business of furniture, but, curating spaces.
No, I think,
Why curating spaces?
I think now more than ever, I think art plays such a fundamental role in hotels and restaurants, and I think curating is a key element. I just finished the Grand Hyatt in Kuwait, in which we created 2,500 books. Is the first library hotel, I think, in the Middle East, definitely in the Gulf, and is, I think, the most incredible Grand Hyatt, I think, in the world. Wow. So every single book was specifically chosen for this hotel project. It was installed by genres, from cuisine, travel, lifestyle, and we have to be very respectful in this part of the world about the books that we can display, and how everything had to be cleared by the Ministry of Interiors in Kuwait before they were flown in. So every single shelves from the lounges, libraries, rooms, they were all curated, placed by myself and my wife. We were fully dedicated in ensuring how we place them. And that's just part of the DNA of who we are. And with these important moments, we get fully involved. So that's really part of curation. Yes, you're right.
If I understand correctly, so you are also involved next door.
Yeah.
The Royal Atlantis,
Yep.
which is an incredible property that is already winning awards, of recognition around the world, about a spectacular asset. How is for you business as usual when you create art for places like that? Because for people that don't understand the magnitude of these properties, they see it like it's a luxurious places and an incredible place, iconic location. So are you nervous when you're creating these things?
No, the client is very detail-oriented. Everybody's bought in that property. I mean, you are so blessed to be staying in that location. It is amazing. Every inch of the property has been, again, curated for an incredible lifestyle experience. Of course, you pay an incredible premium for that, but it's insane. So making artwork for that location was very, very challenging. There was a lot of prototypes, development that took place in our studio. Everything was crafted, created in our studio for the entire rooms of the Royal Atlantis. So it's another big challenge. I mean, we finished. We delivered everything. Everything's been installed, and now we are moving more into public spaces, which we're making some unique artworks at the moment. But it was a pandemic project, believe it or not. So to create that in that difficult time was not easy. So I would say at least 14 prototypes were created for the rooms before, before it was produced and handed over to the site. An incredible project. Again, we can't share anything on LinkedIn or anywhere because at the moment the hotel's not open. But hopefully, if we get a chance, you and I can again go and explore one of the rooms. I can show you what the things we have made.
Where do you see the art business going in the next 10 years?
I was in retail for a while. I've just been focusing more on my project business, more and more. And I think clients are focused much, much more on art installation. The flat art, the print artwork, I think is subsiding because there's a lot of digital art coming to play. And that's becoming very, very competitive when it comes to the real art in public spaces and also in the rooms. And I think a lot of people are putting money just for art and art curation. In 10 years down the line, I can see a lot of digital artwork coming into a lot of areas.
So are you a fan of these NFTs, MetaSpace, and they're talking about being the biggest opportunity for the art world?
Well, I'm going to say something that maybe some of you guys are not going to like it. I think it's rat poison. It's horrible.
Oh, finally somebody that speak the truth.
Oh, it's terrible, that's what Warren Buffett said about cryptocurrency. His rat poison. That's why I'm using his line. And it's end of the day, if you can't physically see it, you can't touch it, you can't be part of the materiality of it. How can it be art? Yeah, it's on your screen, but that's about it. I mean, there's a lot of talented people out there who are creating works on screen, but to be commanding millions, which in the end has no physical aspect. You have to have the physical materiality to it, to understand materials, to understand the substrate, so to feel the pain, things in your hand and get burned, and that crafting has been coming up for generations. So I'm playing a very small part in leaving the crafting behind for the next generation to come. If I don't do what I'm doing right now, then my studio, the people working with me, they will never know what it means. Those people cannot sit on a computer screen and make NFTs. There'll be a small percentage, I think, going down in the future, but we have to recognize really what it takes to make by hand, which is also what you do. You make all these amazing things. There can't be an NFT in a room. How are you going to live in an NFT or a room? You can't. Physical things is important, is real, and we cannot forget that.
For me, is that, this digital space is like, hey, your creation in here. What's the point of having in a digital world when, it's part of creating tourism? People come to Hakkasan because it's a destination, it's a food destination, it's an experience.
Of course.
And artwork play the experience. So when they see this in the normal social media, they want to come. There are people that come and eat also because they want to see the artwork. If everything is digital, there is no more that kind of, emotion that gets transmitted to the individual, through the artwork, to the place, the overall experience.
I myself, or we both could be absolutely wrong, but of course you saw last week or 2 weeks ago, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan, he has almost dedicated $80 billion to the new meta world, NFT world, and they're going to create 40 to 50,000 jobs here. I'm old school. Listen, I come from pre-internet era. I come from the dial-a-phone, and I'm trying to evolve myself as much as possible. I don't know how the two are going to play together, but my focus, even I don't do any 3D printing.
Wow.
I don't believe in it. I just don't.
Wow.
No. Everything's done by
3D
clay,
printing.
by hand. The imperfection is what is unique. And that brings us more skill. And if people want 3D, then I said, just go to 3D printer, don't come to us. Let us make things by hand, which you can feel, touch. Or even these things were done, first clay models were done by hand. There are 8 different modules, all made by hand, after which there's several processes that took to come to this point of crafting this thing. But that's what makes it unique. And that's what makes it, I think, substantial.
Look at the sophistication of the clients. Look at the sophistication of the clients that come to places like this. They also appreciate the sophistication that goes in creating the spaces. You know, as you're saying, it's craftsmanship, and it cannot be replicated digitally.
I've had so many people ask me to replicate this in other areas, and I said no. Number one, I want to be really true to the space and have a unique experience for people to come here. They don't see anywhere else. I've had 4 people in the hotels, I won't do it, because this was the masterpiece. And if you want to see it, come here, enjoy it. I'll do something different, but I won't do this again.
Wow, that's interesting. It's an experience. I mean, what you create. I remember one of our first interview we were talking about, was it the one you created for the W, the massive artwork, like at the entrance, outside.
Yeah, the W is
huge.
Yeah,
it was massive, you know, and then all the other that you do, and then here we are, you know, this one. The dragon is next.
Yeah, the dragon, guys, is going to be. I can't tell you too much because it's such an exciting, not stressful, but very detailed project. Rockwell, New York, their design is so particular. And again, we jumped into it, and there's so many elements that are evolving on a daily basis that, and we have been making prototypes and samples and everything before even we got awarded the project. So we've been so forthcoming. And I told my team, listen, chances are we're not going to get it. But you know what? We tried something new. We are playing something new. We're experimenting. And sometimes my teams, my CFO thinks I'm crazy. He's like, stop wasting all this money, resources, unless you don't get the project. I'm like, it's part of who we are. We have to feel, create, and experiment on a daily basis. And eventually our clients will see our efforts and they will say, you know what? It's worth working with them because they're so dedicated and passionate about these things. And that's why I think the Nobu, and even this is a result of that.
A lot of people that come to these places like this, or the places that you created, and I'm sure there is somebody that said, I know you made it very clear, this is exclusive and unique only for this place. But there are people that would love to, to have a piece of it or a reflection of it, let's call it, to their own homes. So now, is in your plan to develop the Neel Shukla collection of masterpieces for people to have the pleasure to say, you know what, I want a piece of Neel in my house?
I don't believe in making multiple pieces. I like to keep on evolving and making new things all the time. I don't know, I don't want to photocopy my creations. It may sound crazy, I think I could make more business that way, but I think the discovery of new things is something that's better. I'd rather get a premium on my new creations. Honestly, on this one, I probably lost money. Let's face it. So much went into it, making it. On an international level, my prices, guys, clients, I'm very reasonable. I'm under the radar price-wise. I'm very, very, competitive is a very wrong word. I'm not priced right. So I'd rather have a more premium on what my creations are, what my team is creating, than rather photocopy my multiple pieces. So that's what I would rather do.
So you make it tough for all of us to have a piece of you in our places. You have to go where you making it.
Come to Hakkasan, come to Nobu, or come to any of come to W and see it over
Very
there.
Much.
Yeah.
What else is in your bucket list? Something that you're cooking that you can give us a preview of what might come in?
One of the nicest hotel projects which just come to us last minute is the plaza in Qatar Doha. Full steam ahead, opening for the World Cup, of course. And I like the artworks because they're all very, very Renaissance artwork, showcasing the beautiful glory of France. And every time we make artwork, it's also abstract, and there's no form. It's colors, but there's no beautiful history or art history behind that. So in Plaza, it's all beautiful museums and amazing Baroque dresses. So it's nice. I love that stuff. I love to showcase things that are, you can relate to it beautifully. And at the moment, I'm just working on Sheikh Nona. It's a brand new restaurant in DIFC. It's supposed to be larger than Zuma, if I'm not mistaken. And the concept comes from Florence. And again, everything in that place goes to Florence in the 18th century, 19th century. And all the artwork are very, very Baroque, very Italian Renaissance. You're going to see the Medici family placed in some of the areas. So it's really cool, very crafty. I won't say ancient, but classical restaurant, modern classical. So all the artworks, you can relate to it. You will see it, and you will love it. You'll connect with it.
So for our friends out there, they know already that for our Neel Shukla art series, we're going to start here from Hakkasan, lead us into, for sure, the Grand Hyatt in Kuwait, for sure, the plaza in Doha, and then we're going to come back in Dubai to see this famous dragon upstairs at the Nobu. Yeah. So we know already there's 4 more episodes coming up. Stay tuned. But for the time being, we thank you very much. Like your creation, our chat is also a piece of art. So thank you very much, and to the next episode.
Thank you. I just want to have a little shout out to Chef Nobu. Looking forward to seeing you for the opening. And remember, my birthday, September 30th. So next year, we should celebrate either in Malibu or in Dubai. So thank you for that. And thank you for choosing me for your restaurant. I know maybe you had a little bit of a decision making, but hey, I'm excited. And Atlantis, you guys are amazing. Thank you for supporting me and seeing my vision and my passion come to life. Again, thank you guys for always reaching out to me. And I love my talks with you. And I love your new look. Very
Paul Bishop on coping, you see? V-neck and that. No bracelet, no earrings.
Paul, please give me your bracelets. You got tons. I've given you a lot of bracelets as gifts. Just give some to him and make him more trendy like Paul.